We are in fact live.
Just give me 1 second.
No, you yelled at me. You tell me when you're ready, Megan.
Just give me one. I'm good, guy.
So, Megan, would you kindly read the statement of presiding officer?
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting, specifically the time, date, and public call and information were included in the meeting that was electronically sent to the Eccleston Morris Daily Record and posted on the township website. The agenda and public handouts for this meeting can be viewed online at www.longhillnj.gov. A public comment period will be held in the order it is listed on the meeting agenda. Failure of the governing body to provide a live broadcast of this meeting or technological problems encountered during the meeting that affect remote viewing and/or participation will not invalidate this meeting or any action taken, including but not limited to the adoption of any ordinance, resolution, or motion.
Thank you, Megan. Would everybody please rise and join me in a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And this time, I'm going to give Teresa enough time to sit.
Stand.
Start.
Oh,
Standing
I thought it was sit. I didn't know it was
No.
start. I apologize. Megan, would you please kindly take roll?
Committeewoman Fettis.
Present.
Committeeman Liberato will
Present.
not. Oh, yeah, sorry. Committeeman Verleza will not be joining us tonight. Deputy Mayor Dorsey.
Here.
Mayor Paserchia.
Present. So item number 4 on your agenda. Tonight, we have invited a gentleman named Mike Stanzilis to give a presentation on AI and how it can help in terms of servicing our residents. I'll read a brief bio for Mike. Mike Stanzilis is the founder and CEO of Arlington Analytics, where he works with local governments to modernize operations, responsibly adopt emerging technologies, and ultimately serve their residents better. Mike brings a unique perspective to this work. He is an elected official, mayor in Mount Arlington, with more than a decade of experience in local government, and has also held senior executive positions in large national and global organizations. Mike, in fact, came after me as president of the Morris County League of Municipalities. That combination allows him to understand both the challenges facing municipalities and how technology and innovation can be practically applied to address them. He is a frequent speaker on government modernization, artificial intelligence, and emerging technology, and was recently invited by Governor Sherrill to speak at our press conference outlining New Jersey's strategy for responsible data center development. So Mike, thank you for coming here tonight. I think the stage is yours. You were going to use no PowerPoint?
Yeah, I decided to spare everybody, no PowerPoint tonight.
Thank you.
We'll just talk, if that's okay. I mean, if you'd rather look at slides and data and Excel spreadsheets, we can do that, but I'd rather just talk. So thank you so much for inviting me here tonight. Guy mentioned who I am, Mike Stanzilis. And so, you know, I talk to governments, local, county, state, throughout New Jersey, on the modernization process, helping them, you know, guide them into the future, because right now the future is coming fast and furious at us, right? So, if you wouldn't mind indulging me before I get started, and I'm going to involve the audience on this too, and then a police officer in the back, you can get involved too if you want. But raise your hand if you have a job and you get a paycheck every week or every other week. All right, so most people, right? So unless you own a small business or a construction company, how many of you take that paycheck to a bank and deposit it? Nobody, right? Everybody has direct deposit. Okay, next question. How many of you have ever tried Amazon? Anybody time I drive by an Amazon warehouse, I go, there's all my money. Every time I come home, there's a box on the front porch. My wife's got curtains. There you go, curtains and a curtain rod. I don't know, I needed that, but anyway. So I'm saying this, right, to sort of have a little fun in the beginning, but really, for you, the governing body, right, your residents are using so much technology in their daily lives, whether they work at a major corporation or a mid-sized to small business, they're using it. At home, they could be using AI. When you do a Google search now, it comes up with that AI response, whether you like it or not. Some people are using AI in their personal lives, whether it's ChatGPT, the paid or the free version, right? So the point of what I'm saying is the public is expecting government to be in the same sort of technological world that they're in, right? And we are basically not, right? Which is fine for now, but it's coming really, really, really fast. So, you know, what I like to do is help us bridge that gap and bring government into the future. And I'll tell you sort of what I expect. I think, you know, I'll give you my why, okay? Why I'm here, right? Why I'm doing this job. So I started my own business about a year ago. I worked for many years in 2 large global corporations. I managed over almost 1,200 people globally. I had a multi-million-dollar portfolio that I was responsible for. And I say all that to say this, not to pat myself on the back, but to say that when you're working in these types of corporate positions, you are always getting the latest and greatest technology either shoved down your throat or handed to you to use to do some great things with, right? Many years ago, when I got elected into a government position, I felt like I walked into the Stone Age, you know, because of my daily life in corporate America. I saw fax machines. I saw COBOL. Anybody ever do any computer programming? If you have the same color hair I have, I learned it in high school in the 70s. COBOL, Fortran, right? The state is still using COBOL at some of their main systems. Department of Labor is one. So I said, it's going to be my mission to help government come into the future, but do it humanely, responsibly, right? And so, sounds like we have a bug in the room. Oh boy. Testing 1, 2. All right, so anyway, technology, there it is right there, right? Something's gone crazy. So, but it's been my mission to help, especially local government, that's my passion, to help local government walk into the future, right? And it's my job now, since I started my own company, to guide you on that, right? And I've been having the good fortune of working with a lot of great partners. I've worked with some of the counties now, some other towns. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight is, you know, technology isn't the mission, but, you know, serving the residents is the mission, okay? So now we're going to start with another group exercise, okay? Everyone have a cell phone? Pretty much most of them have a cell phone. Get your cell phone out if you don't mind. All right. And this is not to diminish any particular town's technology or not, okay? We're all in the same boat throughout New Jersey. All right, look on your phone, look up Long Hill's website. Go to the Long Hill website. I'll give everybody a few seconds to get there. Long Hill Township. Hill is a separate word, in case you were wondering. All right, okay, so we're all there. Imagine you just got a dog, it's a year old, and you want to get a license for that dog, right? Go, have at it. Figure it out. I'll give you 30 seconds. Raise your hand. Now, if you already know how to do this, don't raise your hand. But if this is your first time trying to figure out how to get a license for your dog, raise your hand when you're ready. And that means when you actually got to the actual form, not any instructions, not...
Let the record show the mayor's there.
The mayor, you got it? What does it say?
Township of Long Hill, how to apply for a new dog. Click dog license.
So you're not at the form yet. You're at
No.
how to do it, right? Yeah, I
Correct.
want you to get to the form. I want you to, you know, be that person who owns a dog that lives in Long Hill. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? I want you to get to that part of your website. Come on, man. Come on, Mayor. You can do
You're
it.
breaking up, Mike. You're
I got the
breaking
form.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you have, Frank?
I got a PDF.
You got a PDF. Okay. Anybody else get the PDF? Anybody else get the electronic form? You got both, right? So, interesting, right? It took a few minutes. There's a little confusion. There's a PDF, but there's also an electronic form. Which one is right? Right? How does it get done? I'm just saying this facetiously, but
And this is true across
everything.
564 towns. This is
It's not just Long Hill.
typical
It's,
Long
listen,
Hill.
no, and in fact, you guys are ahead of the game because you have an electronic application through SDL for dog and cat licenses, okay? So there's one example of, you know, websites being, think of the past, right? They are going to be replaced before you know it with AI agents that will do all this for you. Let's go on your website. So we're going to do a comparison of you doing it manually and then having an AI chatbot look up. So go to Mount Arlington Borough, look it up on your phone. Mount Arlington Borough. And when you get there, go ahead and ask how to get your dog license. Now, you're going to see when you get there something called IgnaChat. It's a little pop-up on the bottom right corner. Click on that. That's an AI chatbot. Ask it how to get a dog license. So anyway, for those that are playing along with this, you'll see that the AI chatbot makes it much easier and clearer. Now, Mount Arlington does not have the electronic application like you guys have, but most of you didn't find that. You found the PDF. So you'd find the PDF with the AI chatbot. So this, I'm not going to go into a lot of technology tonight. There's a ton of opportunities to modernize the way we communicate with residents. And I think the most important thing is how you, as a governing body, communicates with residents with extreme transparency that technology can offer you, right? And ease of use for the residents to help them do business with you. There was one more that you asked me to do that you thought was pretty fun, is the voice chat, right? So, look, every town, every government agency is in the same boat. Have you ever called the town and expect somebody to answer the phone? Quite frequently, no one answers the phone, and you get a voicemail. And why is that? Because you guys are good stewards of the taxpayers' money, and people aren't sitting around waiting for the phone to ring. They're working, working, working. If they answered the phone all day, they would never get anything done. So, we're going to... does this come? Okay, good. This works. So we're going to call a proof of concept. So we did a proof of concept demo for Parsippany with an AI voice agent, and we're going to give it a shot. Do you need to turn
Good
this up?
evening, Township Information and Services. Let me find that for you. I'll check the details about turning in a
Hi.
permit in Parsippany
Oh,
Troy
hold on a second. Thank you for picking up. How do I get a dog license?
Let me check that for you right away. I'll look up the process for getting a dog license in
Can you hear
Parsippany
it?
Troy Hills Township now. To get a dog license in Parsippany Troy Hills Township, you'll need to print and complete the application form and then mail it to the township. The form will require details like the breed
So,
and the license
thank
must
you.
be issued in the name of an adult household member.
Thank you, thank you.
You'll also need-
So it goes on in great detail about how to get a dog
If
license.
you need the application form link sent to
Let's
you
ask
or
it
have
another
any other
question.
questions,
I have
let me
another
know.
question for you. How do I apply for food stamps?
Let me find that for you. I'll check the details on applying for food stamps in Parsippany Troy Hills Township right away. To apply for food stamps, which is now called the SNAP program, you can apply online through the Morris County Department of Human Services. You can visit njfc.force.com/njhelps. Alternatively,
So thank
to
you.
get assistance,
So it goes on with a lot of detail, all right?
you're
So,
very welcome. I'm glad I could help.
you know, and this is 24/7, around the
Right,
clock,
that's what I was going to ask.
and any language. So let's try one more question. How do I get in touch with the mayor?
Let me check that for you right away. I'll look up the contact details for the mayor of Parsippany Troy Hills Township. One moment, please. You can get in touch with the mayor, James R. Barbario, through the township's
Ooh,
official website
they haven't
or by
updated their
attending the
website.
mayor's roundtable events. For direct contact details, you could reach out to the business administrator's office at 973-263-4399.
Thank you very much.
And Mike, I want to emphasize one thing you said there.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
You could do it
If you have any
24
other questions or need for
hours a
assistance,
day,
feel
Yeah.
free to ask.
7 days a week, in any language.
In any language, yes. So I'm going to ask it how to get food stamps in another language. Mira, por favor, ¿cómo solicito los cupones de alimentos? Gracias.
Claro, con gusto te ayudo. Vamos a encontrar la información para solicitar cupones de alimentos. Un momento mientras
Anyway.
busco los detalles en la base
So
de datos de...
I'm going to hang up on it, but you get the point, right? It speaks almost every language except gibberish.
Thank you.
No gibberish, so Guy, I don't know how you'd work out with that. No double speak and
I heard that, Frank.
no pig Latin. But no, it speaks, I mean, we were doing demos for, and a guy speaking Mandarin with it, he was blown away. A CFO from a town was speaking Portuguese, and she said, she was stunned. She said, it picked up that I'm from Brazil and not Portugal, which has a different dialect completely than Brazilian Portuguese. So the point is to make government more accessible, around the clock, answering phones, and then we develop this so that when it answers the phone, if a human needs to be involved, it'll transfer that call to the right human department.
And Mike, you've already worked with Morris County. Morris County, this is live, so this was a little bit of fun, and Parsippany is
It was fun,
in
yeah.
the process of working it out. Mayor Barbiero is not the mayor anymore.
They're not,
so
it's not live, and they didn't
but
update their
Morris
website.
County, Ann Grassi's office,
Yeah.
Morris County Clerk, is live. They've sent out an email a week or two ago, so anybody who's signed up for stuff from Morris County, you can already do this. You call Morris County, and that is
Well,
updated.
the chatbot is live, the voice agent goes live next week
Okay,
sometime.
but
Yeah,
it's imminent.
yeah, so, yeah, and that's the clerk in Bergen County, the chatbot is live in Bergen County. And there's a few other agents in Bergen County we've deployed as well. And agents is just another word for digital workforce. So, but again, I don't want this conversation to be just about AI. This is about helping people, really. At the end of the day, if we don't move the needle in our residents' lives, then we're just doing technology for the sake of technology. And I think what we just saw about navigating our way through government, helping them navigate their way to you, is really what we're going to do, I think, is the differences between asking residents to navigate to government, and now we have the government allowing our technology to navigate it for them. And then, you know, we'll get into other things, you know, in further discussions, but I'll typically say that with things like permits and applications, the agent helps that person finish it, right? So that they don't have to get a PDF, print it out, fill it out, come back, give it to you, right? They'll be all fully online, digital, and help them get through that process. So, you know, the next generation, I think, of municipal AI is not going to just be here to answer questions, but it helps residents accomplish things. And like I say, move the needle in their life. That's my goal, to help you even do better at that. But right now, I mean, your website is very good, I have to be honest with you, better than most. You know, dog licensing is just one journey. There's so much else that we can do with permits, licenses, inspections. Oprah is a big one. Megan, do you get a lot of Oprah requests? Yes. So AI will help you, always with a human in the loop, or technology can help you, right? Get those Oprah requests out faster to the residents, right? And then you can do other things with your time that could probably be more customer-facing. Receiving payments, service requests, and other routine interactions with the public. So what we want to do is help the staff, help the public also. Modernization doesn't always mean replacing anybody, right? The goal is not to replace a single person. Sometimes it means making you do what you already do easier for residents to find and use, and easier for you and your staff and your staff and your team to do their jobs. So that's the technology AI spot. Let's talk about more communication with the public. Social media, right? Facebook, Instagram, whatever other utilities you use. Email blasts, right? Newsletters, mayor's newsletter. There is so many opportunities to make that more efficient, right? To make it more communicative, to automate a lot of that through the use of great technology, right? So one of the things that we talk about is like these weekly newsletters that we all struggle with getting it out and getting information. The AI, large language model, can really help us make that happen and build it out, right? It gets to know your town, what your messages are, and what you want to do. So it's really the goal here is for me to help you, give you the tools that you need so you can tell your story, because communicating is a lot about telling your story to the public, right? Because you do so many great things, they won't know. And we don't want the public in the dark on anything, good, bad, or indifferent, right? So it's important to have overt communication. I think, too much communication is not too.
And as mayor, I know, I've seen him online when I scroll through Facebook, you have a mayor's talk.
Yeah.
And one of your talks had 20,000 views. I don't know who's watching that because you don't have 20,000 people.
I know. I have
online.
6,000 people and it gets 20,000. My videos get thousands of views because of my residents are used to hearing me tell the truth to them. Power failure. Sorry, we got nothing from the power company for the next 4 days. There's a lot of anger, and I get it, but I'm not going to hide from it. So that kind of communication people really appreciate. So we can help you, my company, with getting more of that sort of, especially the short form videos are really important. So my proposed role in all of this is as a strategic partner in the modernization journey, right? And I look at it as a journey into the future. I don't want to be the township's IT department. I don't want to be a software salesperson. I am not the type of consultant who's going to hand over a report and go, this is what you need to do and walk away, right? My role, I see, is to help you assess where you are right now, prioritize where we want to get things you want to get done first, and then I'll build a roadmap for you, right? A technology AI roadmap. Then I'm also good at sourcing out vendors. I've worked with a lot of really good vendors in the spaces, and project management. So the implementation phase is key, to have somebody who's experienced to help implement these technologies. So because I speak both normal language and IT language. So.
And you've already done it. You've done it for Bergen County,
Yeah.
Morris County?
Yeah, and some
Your
other
own
towns.
town,
Yeah,
obviously?
and other towns throughout the state, yeah. And then, of course, measure our success, right? So, there's a lot we can do here. And like I said, tonight my goal was not to go into algorithms and various databases and things of that nature. I just, think that having somebody to sit with you on your side of the table as you're working through this to help you get there into the future with experience and a vision through the state and the country is very helpful. So how do we start this journey, right? The first thing we would do is I would come in and sit with you, and department heads, employees, and get a sense of their process and where they have roadblocks. Maybe do a survey with the residents to see where their roadblocks are, right? Not from a governance standpoint, but maybe from a technology standpoint. Inventory systems, look at all your contracts with your software vendors and so forth. Find out where some of the commonalities are, especially with repetitive tasks that could be easily automated, okay? And things of that nature. So one of the great things is changing those PDFs, and you guys found that PDF, into a truly digital application where an AI agent walks you through it. So ultimately, though, you, the governing body, will determine what moves forward and at what pace and at what cost, right? Of course, we don't do this just for the sake of doing it, right? It's not like climbing Mount Washington. Why? Because it's there. It's because, or Mount Everest, it's because this is going to move the needle in their lives. And that is the key piece here to remember. So I will close out with, return our thoughts back to our residents, right? And that's where we want to do this. We're doing it for them and our employees, and not because it's cool technology. It's not about AI. It's not about websites. One of the things I think you're already ahead of the game is because you brought me in here to talk to you about it, right? There's 564 towns in New Jersey. Not many of them are moving into the future. So if you don't manage the future, it will manage you. And I think you are making the right steps right now by even having these conversations to move into the future, because otherwise it's going to run you over. So the goal isn't to make Long Hill this high-tech, just for the sake of high-tech. It's to help Long Hill make it easier for the residents to access the municipality, to do their business, to do their work here, and basically to move the needle in your residents' lives in a positive direction. So, as I say, technology isn't the goal, better governance is the goal. And so, any questions from anybody or comments?
The only thing I would point out, at the beginning of this year, what we did is we formed a group called Digital Engagement. Actually, we had that, it carried over from last year. The point of digital engagement was to meet and come up with ideas. We'll call it AI just because it's the phrase that's used all the time. AI has moved so quickly,
Yeah.
whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini or any of the others, it's moved so quickly, we don't need a committee anymore. We're already there.
Yeah.
And towns like Morris County Clerk, Ann Grassi, was always on top of technology. Doesn't surprise me, she was the first county to move with it. And now you have Bergen County coming on. And what'll end up happening is this will snowball. As your town does it, if Long Hill does it, Warren will do it. All the people that you and I know, they're all gonna do it. It's here.
Yeah, we have a
And it's
bunch of other
relatively
towns.
painless and quick to do.
There are some easy first steps with very little risk also. So governance is key, right? So we will have talks about governance, data governance. When I said earlier about some of your employees, I'm not saying there are in this town, but other towns, and you might have been to the AI panel I did at the Conference of Mayors this year in Atlantic City. There was a mayor who had mentioned one of his employees came in and did a memo, and she used the free version of ChatGPT, and it hallucinated some of the quote-unquote facts in the memo, which went out to the public. So we have to make sure that we have guardrails around this, and it's something that my company does very seriously, is guardrails for governance. Yeah. So
So
anything,
good.
any ideas?
Any questions or? I mean, I don't know if any member of the public, will get there, and we'll get there quickly.
Yeah.
As you said, either we embrace the future, or the future will run us over. I don't know how you phrased it, but it's true.
You either manage the future, or it's going to manage you.
I'm gonna use that quote and not attribute it to you.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate the time, and I look forward to continuing this conversation. Shall I
Thank you.
follow up with you guys sometime in the near future?
I think with Randy's also our CFO, he's our administrator and our CFO, and with Megan. You know Megan from the time when I was with the league?
I certainly do remember that, yeah.
So why don't you follow up with Megan and Randy, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Excellent, all right, thank you. I
Thank you for your
appreciate
time, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the long drive down from Mount Arlington. All right, so also on your agenda, item number 4, we asked Don Richardson, the chair of the planning board, to come in and kind of speak to what the ordinance priority plan is, implementation status, and we, of course, might have questions for you. So, and I see David Hans, also the former chair.
No, I welcome David. Planning board members.
Is David going to come to the mic as well?
Well, I was wondering if we could come up and use the desk, is that possible? To enter the sacred space?
Any extra charge, Megan?
Yeah.
Thank you. Great.
Let the record show, Megan said Don's always welcome. She didn't say anything about David.
Yeah. It seemed a little one-sided.
So kidding aside, I know you had a long meeting last night.
Yes.
We appreciate all the work that the planning board does. You do a lot of the work that's behind the scenes. Often the town only sees what the township committee is doing, but you guys and gals work very hard. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you coming in on a second evening to
Great.
present. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. Planning board members only travel in pairs, and it's for obvious reasons, protection. Use my protection. No, it's a pleasure to speak with you all this evening, and thank you, Mr. Mayor, for inviting and us jumping onto your agenda this evening. What we as representatives of the Planning Board would like to achieve tonight is really just a very, very brief master plan overview of what's been going on for the last 2.5 years, which ties back to the ordinances. I always like to talk about context and kind of the big picture and initiatives that we have going on and some of the accomplishments, because then we very quickly get into the weeds. And clearly we're in the weed phase of now passing a lot of these ordinances to implement the master plan. And then finally, I just would like to close with just some critical needs and wants that the master plan, or the Planning Board really has, along with the Ordinance Review Committee, affectionately known as the ORC, has to really carry out our mission here. So first, just to provide a quick overview, December 2023 was when the master plan was implemented, to about 2.5 years ago. This, as you allude to, is a culmination of hundreds of hours of work. As you know, this plan took a life of its own over well over a decade. Finally culminated just under the wire, the deadline, which was in 2023 for the adoption of the master plan. We, again, really appreciated the community input in that process, and I have to give a lot of credit to my predecessors and David Hands and Dennis Sandow, who really just did some of the heavy lifts along with Alan File when he was chair of the Planning Board. Just many, many people who aligned to make this happen. The other thing I just want to mention, because I'm going to plug this at the end too, is just the incredible professionals that we have. Liz Lahaney was instrumental as our planner to help bring this thing to fruition, the master plan, and continues to be instrumental in regards to drafting of ordinances, along with Yolanta, our board attorney. So our professionals are just stellar, and we're really blessed to have them in support. If there's anything to review with the master plan, I'm not going to go into the details, but I encourage you to go to our website. Maybe you use the AI tool to find our master plan. Hopefully it won't hallucinate and give us something different, but in our master plan, there's really two key sections. If you read anything, it's section 1.3, which is really our opportunities and challenges. We spent a lot of time culling a list of about 11 opportunities and challenges this town faces. And I would encourage all the township committee as well as the public to refresh their memory on that as we go forward. Those largely haven't changed. We may add a few more challenges here and there, but I think we have a good stable set that's the foundation for a lot of the work that we're doing. The second section is in section 2.0 with our vision, goals, and objectives. And that's largely what we're using as our lens as we look through to assemble the ordinance priorities and try to look at how these things all fit together. Think of ordinance development as a giant puzzle that we're trying to put together to now implement the master plan in a cohesive manner. And we'll talk about just some of the challenges as we go forward with that. Since adoption too, importantly, one of the things we shelved was the housing element, a key component to the master plan. That was done on purpose because we knew another round through affordable housing was coming through, and it was critical that that was delayed so that we had enough time to prepare and address what needed to be a key components of the housing element. That was passed in June of 2025. So again, the other thing that was done right out of the gate was the meeting, and this goes back to the transparency of the master plan and making it a living document, is we met and we split up and met with all the key committees of the town to try to reinforce the recommendations in the master plan with each of those key committees. I think that's a key component to, again, continue that effort. That can't be just a one-time shot. In fact, there was a couple of successive meetings that were done in certain key areas, and I would like to continue to try to facilitate that. I know it takes time, but it's critical that the planning board reach out and continue to interface with these key committees, such as the environmental, the HPAC group, open space, et cetera. The other thing was looking at probably the most important thing that came out of the master plan that we all have to wrestle with is stormwater and flood management. And this is where we've had a dialogue, Mr. Mayor, a lot in regards
Over a
to
decade
how,
worth.
right, of how we can best facilitate this. One of the recommendations was to try to embrace a committee that transcends just the township, because it's not just a township issue, and it's not going to be solved just with our township. We're on one side of the river. We got to get to the other side of the river. We got to go up the river to ensure that we are comprehensively looking at different ways that we can facilitate that. And I believe, Randy, you're involved too with looking at some different groups outside of that area. I see that as it's something that's near and dear to me personally for the town and some of my background, and I welcome the opportunity to continue to advance that particular area and everything we look at from the standpoint of flood management. It's absolutely critical for future development needs downtown here, as well as just protecting the residents and keeping us safe from that standpoint. And then last but not least, and then I'll turn it over to David to talk a little bit about the ORC, is our trail system. And we saw and had a very interesting dialogue at the time that the sewer was being constructed to look at their right-of-ways. They actually, if you've noticed, cleared some very nice swaths of land to put in trails. And so in some of the discussions that we've had with some of the New Jersey American folks, they saw no issue with us doing, trail type thing, as long as it wasn't asphalt, and hard structure over those right-of-ways so they could get to a problem with the piping. But I've seen other towns, and there's other examples across the country of the use of those sewer-type right-of-ways for connections on trails. And everything we really have been looking at is trying to pivot around Central Park. And Central Park on what I'll call the upland, and then our river, is embrace a better trail network like we have in some of our adjacent towns along the river, in a way that gets people back toward the river in a productive fashion from that standpoint. So those are some of the main initiatives that are being cooked up that we're looking at and trying to fold in to then the detail, which is the Ordinance Review Committee, or the ORC. So David, why don't you just provide a little bit about where we are in that process?
With the
Thank you.
ORC,
Yes.
well, Teresa, you know the ORC, so you know some of the ins and outs of that process. But just to go back, I've been doing it for 12 years, right, since the beginning, and we've gone through various iterations. I think we've now found an iteration or process that's sort of meeting the need of trying to get some stuff really concretely done. And I think there's been a lot of communication with yourself, Jack, as well, with Yolanta. So that communication's been tremendous. So, and obviously leading light of this is the master plan. And there's also zoning issues, and the zoning board provides us a report, so we need to take care of that. Obviously, we're looking at ordinances that come down from the committee, from yourselves. So are they consistent with the
You're
master
currently
plan?
looking at stuff for
Yeah,
right.
the
as we
town,
speak.
for the resident right now.
Yeah, I do have a question about one.
Yeah.
I won't go into it right now. So there's a good dialogue. And I think that process, and I think I've made this point a couple of times, there's some inconsistency in that process, and things have got missed in that process between the two, but that's a minor point, to a degree a minor point. But I think the emphasis right now as well is there's a lot of stuff that we're trying to put down. There's a lot of stuff we're working through. And having the professionals, Yolanta in particular, legal, and Liz, town planner, being part of the equation has made a big difference to us to really get some stuff done by focusing and really have enabled the conversation that we have, the smaller group. And we go through a few iterations of discussion. This is not just a quick, one-time done thing. This is, I think we're thoughtful and practical in what we're trying to achieve. And I think, Teresa, if you were with the org right now, when we were doing it ourselves, I think you'll see a little bit of a difference here by having Yolanda and Liz in a more present state with us to work through stuff. And certainly Liz, Yolanda took a first run through saying, look, there's a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of stuff that just simply needs to be sorted out, some silly stuff. Right, so we've done some of that stuff. Then there's getting into the master plan directly, looking at particular zones and whatever else. So that stuff needs to continue to work on. And then we get into some other stuff on the zoning board, sheds. I don't know if you remember the sheds discussion zone, Teresa. But I think we came into a good conclusion here. Right now, it is just a standard one shed, and that's basically it, maybe a limit of 200 square feet. But within the org, we just said, well, hang on a second, this town is not, there's different property sizes. Let's be thoughtful about that. So we came up with, maybe it's two larger lots, acre, whatever, maybe 2 sheds, maybe a maximum of, say, 300, whatever, 360 square feet, but 2 sheds, so maybe one of 200, one of 160, but give some flexibility to people who already may have multiple sheds or a couple of sheds. So let's be thoughtful about that. So that's been a good exercise, and that's taken time to discuss and having
The shed example is such a good one in regards to the zoning board was just getting killed
Right.
with different zoning applications, and that's where the ordinance review comes in regards to saying, wait a second, there's got to be a better way to do this, so there's not so many applications that are coming into this, nor putting a burden unnecessarily on the public with
Exactly.
respect to having to come in time and time again with an application that just doesn't make sense. So that's what I think we're really trying to clean up and be transparent in that process as we clean up all these different issues, so we can become more efficient as an interface to the public.
Yeah,
So,
we
I
don't-
just wanted to I was gonna just pass out, this is just a record of
Thank
the
you.
different ordinances that have been.
And while you're doing that, just to follow on that point for a second, I did not mention Deb Kuntz in the zoning. Her involvement, her insight, she's the one at the front line. She's getting all these issues. She's the one that has to answer the phone calls. So that thought and input from Deb has been obviously instrumental in a lot of the changes that we're thinking about doing or have been doing. So as Don passed around the document, there's a few things, the list is starting to get longer and longer because we're looking at more and more stuff, and over time.
And I like the shed, and by the way, thank you, the arduous tasks that you guys have worked on isn't for your benefit, and it isn't for the people sitting up here, it's for the public.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They're the ones that had to suffer the slings and arrows of,
Yep.
I just want to have a shed.
Right. So let's overcome, let's be practical about this stuff. Let's move on, and let's find better ways of doing stuff. And one other one's going to come your way is the prohibited list.
Right.
So
Yes.
that's going to be a sensitive one.
Yeah,
to
but
debate.
that's very topical because of
right.
what's going on with data
That
centers.
is right.
It's archaic, to say the least.
Yeah, so maybe I could chime in here. I mean, it's our position as the planning board, and this is through consultation with our professionals, looking at a lot of different ordinances that are around the state, as well as how other towns are handling this prohibited use area. And the counsel that we have received is, number one, these prohibited uses should not be listed because it is problematic. There are very savvy experts that will twist and turn these lists, as I know Jack can attest to, in testimony against this use. It's usually set up. It seems counterintuitive. Why wouldn't you list the things that you don't want? However, if you don't list everything, and it's impossible to list everything, you're going to fall short. So we strongly recommend that prohibited uses, whether it be everything from a cell tower to a data center to a nuclear reactor that somebody wants to put in their
Or
backyard.
50,000 seat sports stadium.
Or 50,000 is,
Piggeries, I think.
you know, the
Piggeries right now.
those uses that I just listed are already prohibited.
Right.
And let's let the ordinances that we have, the zoning and the work that we're doing defend against these different issues. I just think that, again, very strong recommendation that we don't succumb to trying to list these things. We're going to delete the mink farm and the piggeries. That's on the list. Go look at the list. There's mink farms that are a prohibited use in Long Hill Township, so no more mink farms.
It's been a problem.
Right, exactly.
Darn mink.
Yeah, I know. Have to- So, yeah,
Yes,
I think that
yep.
unless there's any questions, I think that was just a quick run through of, and Jack, I think hopefully what we're saying is what you get and your work and your.
Welcome.
Can I, the one thing I forgot to mention in my notes, there is one exception to that, and Jack can back me up on that, is when it's statutorily required.
Right.
Cannabis is a good example. Cannabis has to stay in the ordinance
That's right.
for prohibited uses because it's statutorily required that we made a decision. If you recall, the Township Committee
100%.
made a decision a few years ago in regards to its embracing of the cannabis market, which it did not. And so it had to declare that in the ordinance. So that's the one exception. I'm sorry.
No, I think,
Yeah.
just finished as well. Unless there's any questions or comments, Jack, always good to hear your
Yeah.
views on a lot of stuff. 'Cause we see a lot of your stuff, obviously you're sending back and forth to us for inconsistency and stuff, so.
Yeah, we try to keep it open.
so-
Well, Dave, do you agree with Yolanta, I guess it's Yolanta, legal
Yeah.
counsel, whoever
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
with not putting data centers on the prohibited
Yes.
use?
Yes, very much so.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the general idea is, otherwise you're going to definitional point, how big
That's the
what
other
it
thing.
is. And you'd end up in 15 pages of definitions just to support one thing, and you're going to leave a gap somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's easier to, right now, to not ignore,
I see what
not
you're saying.
permit.
Yep.
And to point, a year ago, data centers weren't on anybody's radar.
Correct.
So you didn't have it, you didn't address it, somebody puts an application in, and as you said, some of these smart attorneys
Yeah.
are gonna find a way,
Yep,
um,
to twist it. Yep,
Correct.
exactly. Teresa, did you have a
Yeah,
question?
is there,
Yeah.
do our current ordinances cover the prohibition of data centers now without explicitly?
Not, it does not explicit, in the current ordinance, it's not on the list.
Correct. Does it,
The zoning
right,
prohibits it. The performance standards in our zones will not allow a data center to be built. Even just regarding the backup generator won't allow it to be built in our current zoning.
has it been on the planning board's radar to address it in any way, or do you feel confident that it is being addressed in the zoning issue?
We feel confident it's being addressed. We are doing a deep dive into the bulk standards.
Right.
As you well know, having
Right.
been on the ORC, so that is kind of the next step as we get into the meat of the different zones to protect that. Listen, our town is not set up at all for hyperscale
Yeah.
campuses. I mean, these are 10 million square foot. It's like the whole area of the town. So that's not happening. But even the micro scale and other things, that's where you get into the definitional
Right.
issues that are just best to let the boards handle as they might come up and deal with them in application from that
in a
standpoint.
variance.
Right, in a variance
application.
application, correct.
Correct.
Any other questions?
Is it?
Great, thanks.
No, thank
Yeah.
you.
No, and
Thank you very
I
much.
want to, again, publicly thank you guys and gals, and Teresa knows this, and Lord knows I know it, because I was on the Board of Adjustment for 8 or 9 years,
I'm
and
hearing
Right.
Planning
this
Board
as
for
well.
5 years.
Right.
So,
So, just real quickly before I leave, I gotta leave you with a couple of needs.
Yeah.
Just three.
You did
Don't-
mention
Don't
the
try to cut
request.
me off. I
in
knew-
fairness,
Now the money comes.
I was going to try to, because you did say it in the beginning, I have a couple of requests.
Real quickly, the zoning map is absolutely critical.
Absolutely.
And we need to update it. It hadn't been updated since 2016.
Right.
I've gotten a very reasonable proposal in like the 5,000K neighborhood from Liz Lehaney, from her planning firm, to develop a very simple zoning.
We were going to try to see if some plasterboard or whatever that stuff, and a
Yeah.
box of crayons,
Yeah.
but that's
Right.
not good?
Yeah,
Maybe
no.
AI can do
Yeah.
it. Ask AI to
Yeah.
break them
Now
out.
we do
Right.
a narrative.
That,
We say lot so-and-so is.
right, so we just need to box out for that. That
Kidding
isn't
aside,
currently, I think we'll get a proposal from her and
we'll-
address
if-
that,
if you
and
don't
work
mind,
that through
send it
Randy.
to our CFO.
Yes.
And we we can.
And then the other request is, we are getting low on a few budgets for our planner.
Yeah, that's the big.
So
Did
our
that break up?
our planner budget is, I think she's pretty much at budget, Randy, if I'm not
For
mistaken,
the year?
for the
Yeah.
year. And we
And I
need,
don't know about your attorney, because
the attorney, I think, is okay from what I saw, what Deb shared with
it's
me.
only through February.
Right. But I'm looking at just trying to get through the end of the year.
And rather than make light of it,
So, I mean, it's up to you of how you want to look at the budget.
the master plan is critical, especially as we've tried to navigate what is required by law because of what
Right.
was COA, then became Fast Share. There's construction going on in town. We have to get this right. And developers have figured out, they went along the Gladstone line. As the Gateway project is completed, and it will be completed, there's going to be 1C trips along that
Yep.
line. And these developers are coming out of everywhere, and they're looking at little lots in Long Hill, or even bigger lots, like next door here, or over
Yep.
near Barrett. They know where Long Hill is now.
Yep.
And they go along that Gladstone line, they go to Summit, it's too expensive, they go to Berkeley Heights,
Yep.
it's built out, and they come to little,
With 3 train stations.
Yeah, I know.
100%.
Right.
We may be the only town in the state of New Jersey with
Has
3
three.
train stations. We certainly are the only town 30
Right.
miles from Manhattan.
Correct.
Right.
So
So,
what you're doing
right.
is critical.
So I'll follow up then, Randy, with you on just a reasonable budget. I think we have so many applications coming up, there's not going to be a ton of time, but I want to try to keep some of the momentum going on these ordinances. I mean, that's what's critical. We've got some momentum, we want to keep it going from that standpoint. And then last but not least, is working on our communication system in this room. I don't know where we stand with that. We do have a lot of applications that are coming up, and we just, we continue to be sometimes plagued with some challenges with regards to our audio system. That's really the priority, is
I
the
thought that was
audio system.
being-
Yes, it'll be addressed this year.
Perfect,
Okay,
fantastic. Great,
Very good.
thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
yep, thank you.
Teresa says I usually move on before people have had a chance to collect themselves, so I'm gonna give Don a second. Not,
I'm collected.
all right. Okay, so, item number 5, the meeting's open to the public, remarks and statements pertaining to agenda items only. So anything on the agenda, we will have a public session at the end where you can speak about anything. But, okay, fair enough. We will have public there as well, as Jack correctly pointed out. So, anything on the agenda, open mic.
Good evening. Charles Renowitz, Millington. Ordinance 59726. After the Township Committee, Sunview, and the Planning Board privately determined their affordable housing locations for Round 3 and went before Superior Court Judge Michael E. Hubner on December 15, 2017, to approve this settlement agreement with their affordable housing. Then, the Township Committee and the Planning Board in 2018 created overlay zones for all affordable sites detailing new densities and increasing building heights beyond the standard 2.5 stories, 35 feet. The Tifa site in this ordinance was included in that overlay zone. The 23 master plan was adopted by you on November 28th, 2023, after 10 years making the deadline. One primary objective was to create more rational zoning within the township. There are about 10 pages in that report dedicated to cleaning up the mess. Creating a new base zoning district, RM1I, inclusionary mixed-use district, does not get it done. Ordinance 59526. This ordinance proposing rezoning Lot 23 in block 11401 and a portion, check that out, a portion of lot 4 in block 11401 to a new zone, LU 122-16, AL Assisted Living Zone District. Spot zoning is the practice of zoning a small, specific parcel to land to give it a use classification or restriction vastly different from the surrounding area. Creating a zone of one lot and a portion of another is clearly spot zoning. It's illegal under New Jersey state statutes. The ordinance references Resolution 25-285, approving an agreement with Fair Share Housing. I looked up Resolution 25-285, and it refers to hiring authorization of a probationary DPW worker. If you'd like to see that resolution, I've got a copy of it.
No, we're familiar with it, but
Great.
Is there a question in here?
Please do not add these two unnecessary zones to our land use that are not needed and will further complicate the land use process. And the master plan of 2013, you had two representatives here tonight on the planning board, is trying to correct. Please do not complicate the mess with these two ordinances. They've been taken care of already. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chuck. And I know you didn't ask a question, you made a statement, but there is a question in there, so I'm going to ask Township
What was
Council
the question?
Yeah.
Why?
These two ordinances don't change anything. All they do is change those two properties from overlay zones to affordable housing zones in order to protect the township's affordable housing third and fourth round plans. And it's not spot zoning because
You
it's in-
created round 3 after you got the settlement agreement. You were there and approved it, and this committee created the overlay zones. They did that improperly? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I spoke to the township planner about this. She said that the reason it was done as an overlay zone back then was because of the sewer ban, and there was a durational adjustment in the third round plan. That's no longer applicable, so the township planner thought it would be in the township's best interest to make both of these affordable housing zones in order to protect the township's third and fourth round fair share plans.
Is this not spot zoning?
It's not spot, it would be spot zoning in any other context except for the Mount Laurel context.
So you can make one lot, and that's not spot zoning? Has that been tried in court?
Mount Laurel turned everything on its head. It took, before Mount Laurel, ordinances had a presumption of validity. When it comes to affordable housing ordinances, the presumption is the township has to prove the validity of the ordinance. And the same with spot zoning. Mount Laurel inherently involves spot zoning.
If these two sites have already been approved for what you're zoning it to, I mean, I don't see where we're only complicating, making the mess again, not consistent with the master plan, what it was trying to do in 2023. I'm sorry.
We're not changing anything except the nature of the two zones.
You're adding two zones.
But
Are you not?
The standards are identical to the existing standards.
Right. Why change it? That's the point, Attorney Pigeon, exactly the point. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Okay, so the meeting is still open to the public for items on the agenda this evening. And remember, at the end of the meeting, there will be public comment for any item. And for anything for second reading, there will be a public comment there as well. Good evening.
Good evening.
I know you, but you still have to state your name.
I know. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joanna Askey. I live on Myersville Road. And I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time for me to come up because this isn't regarding an ordinance that is to be passed tonight, so do I speak about that now, or do I speak later during the
can speak
public hearing?
both.
Oh, I can speak both?
Well, it'd be better, Joanne, if you waited until
All
the
right, I'll
public
wait
hearing,
then.
because that way the record is clear.
Okay, great,
We have
I
a
wasn't
public
sure.
hearing on the ordinance.
All right,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in the courtroom? Seeing none, Megan, home.
If anybody on Zoom would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand now. I don't see anyone, Mayor.
Thank you. So we'll end number 5. We'll move on to number 6. This is first reading, so there will be no comment as it is first reading. I will read it. Ordinance 596-26, first reading, introduction, an ordinance vacating the entire length of the Paper Street right-of-way designated as 16-foot wide, no name, I don't know what this means, blah, blah. You know, this is a perfect example of where the public says, we don't even know what you're talking about. So could you identify which street we're talking or where it's located?
It's off Long Hill Road. It's a strange street. Most every paper street in town has a name. This one, it goes between these two lots that are referenced here. As far as I can tell, it serves no purpose whatsoever. The property owner has asked that we vacate it. We have to do that by ordinance. We made no finding as to who owns the property once the street is vacated. And
So the property owner wants it vacated?
yes,
We don't have a problem because we don't even know what the name of the street is?
that's exactly right.
So any questions for Jack?
This one is baffling, in all honesty. I'm not sure why it's there.
I don't see any questions, so I'll look for a motion to approve on first reading.
Second.
Committeewoman Fettis?
Yes.
Committeeman Liberato?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey?
Yes.
Mayor Paserchia?
Yes, thank you, Megan. So next up, ordinance 597-26, first reading, introduction, and ordinance amending section, and I probably won't read the whole thing here. I think we just.
We discussed it at length.
And Chuck just gave a very good description of what it is. There may be a slight difference of opinion, but he's correct in what he said.
That's correct.
In the context of what he said. So, Jack, I think you've already discussed it. So any questions from the Township Committee for Jack? Seeing none, it's first reading, so I'll look for a motion to approve.
And this will get referred to the planning board, just for the record, and they can, and I will communicate with Yolanta in the meantime.
Thank you, Jack.
So moved.
Second.
Committeewoman Fettis?
Yes.
Committeeman Liberato?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey?
Yes.
Mayor Paserchia?
Yes. So next up is second reading, so there will be a public comment or question period. Ordinance 594-26, second reading adoption, amending section 7-20 entitled Vehicles Over Designated Weight Excluded from Certain Streets in Chapter 7 entitled Traffic of the Township Code by adding a weight restriction on a portion of Long Hill Road. Now, we've been discussing it for some time. Jack, maybe you could just give a little context?
Yes, I believe this came from the Traffic Advisory Committee, and I think Randy has more background than I do on it.
Yeah, the Traffic Advisory Committee, we've had numerous problems with commercial vehicles, mostly tractor trailers, jackknifing in that area, trying to make a right turn onto Long Hill. It's the municipal portion. At the end of the town and then going into Chatham, there are weight restrictions on those roads. And this is primarily residential. So the Traffic Advisory Committee recommended that we put a weight limit on this road to keep the large commercial vehicles off the road. Obviously, if there's deliveries or landscapers that are doing business to residents in that area, they will be allowed to get on the road. And I believe any resident that may own an RV or anything like that
Yes.
would be able to access, obviously, their home.
Correct.
Perfect. I know there was some residents that were concerned, so I appreciate the work that was put into this. Any other questions, comments from the committee? So we're going to open up the meeting to the public. Poor Joanna, you should have sat in the front.
Yeah.
You're getting your steps in, right?
Yeah, that's right. I will state my name for the record again. My name is Joanna Askey. I live on Myersville Road. And I used to serve on the Traffic Advisory Committee a while ago. So I am hear about this ordinance, about the weight restriction, agree that that corner is a difficult corner because we've all seen the trucks get jackknifed. I've also seen them get stuck in the circle. So my question is, if you're prohibiting that turn, right, onto Long Hill Road, where are your trucks going? Because it looks like your signage, from what I saw in the ordinance, is going to be up at that intersection, correct? So your truck is going up that hill. Uh-oh, maybe they're stopping there. Now where are they going after that?
What, I can't answer that. Traffic Advisory Committee members thing.
Well, those are, I believe those are county roads.
But where are they
we-
going after they don't make that right-hand turn, though? Where are they going to wind up?
I would believe that they would go up through, the county, through Myersville.
Or left on.
Or left off the Long Hill
Left on
Road.
Long Hill. It's really the only two
Yeah.
choices they have.
Well, I think you'd probably go straight onto
Yeah, straight up
Myersville.
towards
Yeah.
Myersville, towards you, yes.
Right, so you're gonna have these large trucks that you're now funneling down Long Hill Road, down Myersville Road, right? They're gonna be going through the circle. There's no shoulder on that road. That road is a residential road. It's not a commercial road. You've got walkers, you've got bikers, you've got joggers. I mean, that road is not appropriate for these large trucks that are going to be funneled there. Maybe they go on Valley. I mean, nobody wants more trucks, but that's a commercial corridor. I mean, it's certainly not appropriate, I would not think, to put them onto Myersville. And when the Traffic Advisory Committee looked at this years ago, that was the decision. And I know, people change, but that specific issue was discussed. And
So, can I,
Is there-
actually, I'm
is-
not cutting you off, I want to ask.
Is there a weight restriction on Myersville Road or any
That I
commercial
don't know.
vehicle
We
restriction?
actually, instead of just talking in circles, we could reach out to
Right.
Lieutenant Sutton.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, if we reach out to Lieutenant Sutton, because he's been in contact with the county constantly, he knows the weight restrictions. You obviously know Lieutenant, well, you knew him as Sergeant Sutton, but Lieutenant Sutton when you're on the Traffic Advisory Committee. So, that, at least for the immediate answers, he'd be the best one to answer your questions right now.
But it doesn't even matter if there's a weight restriction on Myers. The fact of the matter is, you're going to have more trucks on there. The solution to the jackknifing isn't to send them down Myersville Road through the circle. That's just pushing the problem somewhere else.
So Joanna, we're neighbors, right? And full disclosure, Jack, am I allowed to opine on it because I live off of Myersville Road?
You're allowed to opine.
Why not?
I am allowed. All right, so my recommendation is going to be that we table this, send it back to the Traffic Advisory Committee, because your questions and comments and the visualization of what you're describing, and even the circle, becomes in and of itself
We love our
concerning.
circle,
Yeah,
Guy.
the
Don't
circle's not
mess with
going anywhere.
don't mess with our circle.
Well, Suzanne Dapkins once told me, God bless her, rest in peace, you touch that circle,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're in trouble.
and she meant it.
And she meant it. She wasn't laughing like I am.
No. That's
But I'm laughing nervously thinking about that
Yes.
circle. So
Well, yes.
from a truck perspective, I'm visualizing this now and I don't know what happens there. So what I'm recommending is we
Right.
table it, send it back to the Traffic Advisory Committee, because we have to figure something out. And as much as we don't want to burden Valley Road more,
No.
that's also a county road.
I
Yes,
suggest a
that
motion.
is, and that think about that intersection too. There's so much confusion at that intersection already. People are going, not stopping. Myersville, the speed limit's 40. I don't know why, when it's
We've tried.
35. You know what, where there's a will, there's a way. I've seen them switch at other places. I don't know why.
Well, in
Then you're
Chatham.
gonna have,
The Chatham section of Myersville Road
Is
is
35.
35.
so I feel like that could also be something that could be followed up on. So, I mean, there's a lot of issues already, and I think I'm very, very glad that you are all, agreeing to table this.
Thank you for
and-
coming, because if you did not come here tonight, and maybe there are other residents in Myersville,
Yep.
my other neighbors, I wouldn't have thought about that.
All right, well, thank you, and I appreciate all the work you guys do on the committee, and I know it's a heavy lift. And also, I wanted to thank the Echoes for continuing to cover local government, because that is how I noticed this. So, thank you so much.
coming,
Joanne.
All right, and I
Good to see you.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you very
I
much.
For those who don't know, Solace Church is an alumnus of University of Richmond. She's a spider like my daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, she has the shirt on right now.
Hi.
Sorry.
It's okay, just real quickly, I'm also a neighbor of Joanne's on Myersville Road,
Would you
and,
mind stating your name?
oh, I'm Carol Kukuka, and on Myersville Road. I'm the last house in Myersville before it becomes Chatham, right next to the Great Swamp. If you go on, the thing to also mention is if you go online and you look at Myersville, they describe Myersville as a peaceful residential neighborhood in Gillette, and also as a hamlet, a little quiet hamlet. Now you're gonna send 10-ton plus trucks down our road. Cars can't navigate that circle as it is. It's windy. I walk my dog there. There are blind spots when you come over the hill. I had a diesel truck land on my front lawn, the traffic safety truck, ironically, on my front lawn when a woman came into his lane, and he went right on my front lawn, 25 feet from my house, and dumped 50 gallons of diesel. So it's just not the road for that. That's all I have to say.
By the way, I often get asked what a hamlet is, and I always say I don't know, but I like it.
Yeah, I looked it up. I actually did look up a hamlet. It is designated as a very small human settlement. Like, how old is that? But anyway, yeah, I just.
Thank you for coming here
Yes.
tonight. I know you have better things to do with your evenings. But the visualization of what both of you have pointed out, it won't work.
Yeah.
And to your point, there are blind spots as you drive down. Now, you know it, I know it, and you know where to slow down,
Yes.
but a truck
There
won't.
was a vicious motorcycle accident there also because of the blind spots.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you want to vote it down or just continue the public hearing until September 9?
The next
Till you get more information.
Yeah, so I suggest a motion to continue the public hearing until September 9, and in the
The Traffic Advisory Committee next meets October 19th.
Well, then it will be carried till
till the second meeting in
November.
October?
Second meeting in October,
yes.
which is, give me 1 second.
No, I think you're beyond that now. Or maybe not. It's 15th, 29th, or what is it? No, it can't be 15.
The 21st
No.
is the second meeting,
Okay,
so it
seven-
would be,
21st, right?
And when did you say traffic meets?
so it's like 2 days later. It's the
Oh,
Monday.
So
That's
first
tight.
meeting the only meeting in November, whatever that
November
is.
4th? We're carrying this until November 4th.
Yes.
I mean, is there,
Why-
does the
why don't-
traffic advisory
Why don't we
only
just
meets
vote it down
4 times a year or so?
rather than carrying it for 4
Unless you
months?
move it up.
Vote it down and ask for another recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rather
that's-
than carrying it for 3 or 4
If
months.
you don't mind, I'm going to say what Jack said. I'm looking for a motion to vote it down, asking the Traffic Advisory Committee to reconsider.
You gather more information, sure, I have no issue with that.
If they were meeting next week, I'd say carry it
Yeah,
to the next
okay.
meeting, but
Do you
All right.
want to see if anybody
So who's making the
else-
motion?
If anybody on Zoom.
Oh, I apologize. Anybody at home?
If anybody on Zoom would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand now. I don't see anyone, Mayor.
Thank you, Megan. And by the way, this is exactly why it's critical to listen to residents. And I live there, and I just didn't visualize it, but now I'm visualizing a tractor-trailer trying to navigate Myersville Circle. And you talk about making that hard right. Go down Myersville Road and, try to go left, try to go, what's the right thing? And it's confusing.
I'm sure a lot of the road construction also probably exacerbated it, because when you had road closed during construction, you're pushing vehicles normally where they don't go. But even to their point about going back to Valley, maybe it can be fixed with signage. As you come around Morristown, have signage there pushing the vehicles, letting them know that there's no right turn at the top, and that could send them back down the Valley if you had to. But, I mean, either way, I think Myersville Road is a county road too, so I don't know what restrictions are, but, you gotta figure it out.
For the moment, we will leave Myersville Road as it has been since Mr. Myers, or was it Mrs. Myers? Mr. and Mrs. Myers lived there. So I think we need a motion to vote it down
Yeah.
and a second.
that's right, and a yes will be to vote it down.
Okay, so moved.
Committeewoman Fettis? Committeeman Liberato.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey.
Yes.
Mayor Paserchia.
Yes, and thank you. All right, so ordinance 595-26, second agenda adoption. This sounds like a cleanup.
This is from the org.
Uh-oh.
The org,
Once a planning board chair, always a planning board chair. So chair,
Maybe it's
chair
just me.
emeritus.
Maybe it's just me. Can you just check the actual ordinances number in the back? You've got the same ordinance number, but they're two different things. Just double check yourself.
Where though?
5952-26.
Right, but this is the last ordinance on the agenda.
Right. But you look at the language, it's the one that Trump is talking about.
Oh.
oh
in the
yeah,
back.
there are two.
You've got 595-26, both. And they're different ordinances.
Totally different.
Oh,
Because 592-26 is the terms. I just wondered, before you have the discussion, you might just want to just double check which one's valid. And we did do the reading on 592, on
Megan,
the one that's,
yeah, Megan can renumber one of them, especially the one that was voted down, probably the easier.
In the back. So page 10, I think it is, David?
Yes.
correct. That's the correct ordinance. I have the wrong title. And we have to amend it and carry the public hearing.
Right.
So the actual title of the ordinance is an ordinance of the Township of Long Hill, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending the township zoning map and land use ordinance by creating a new assisted living zone and rezoning block 11301 to permit an assisted living and memory care residence as a permitted primary use consistent with the township's fourth round housing element and fair share plan, township settlement agreement with Fair Share Housing Center, and the Superior Court's judgment of compliance and repose, and supplementing and amending various sections of the township land use ordinance.
That's correct, and you don't have that in the agenda.
Correct,
itself.
yes, I
That-
apologize, that is not the
Probably
correct
got
title.
cut out in cutting and pasting.
The ordinance itself in the back of the agenda is correct, but there's a few, changes that need to be made
Mm-hmm.
on the actual ordinance itself, so, I think,
On the one you just read?
correct,
Okay, so we're gonna
That's-
carry that anyway?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so to be fair,
I
we
don't
need
know.
to, so 595-26, the one we just turned down is numbered correctly?
59426?
594 is correct.
594 is
595,
correct?
the title in the agenda up at the top,
Uh-huh,
as like an overview, that's the incorrect title. The body of the ordinance in the
Okay.
back is correct.
okay,
Starting on page 10.
right, page 10.
And I circulated a tract changes copy, which outlines all the changes. None of the changes are substantive, they're just correcting the description, because what happened is that the planning board never approved the application, or never approved the subdivision. Or, no, the map was never filed, I'm sorry.
Right, because they never did
Right.
resolution
So,
compliance.
Exactly. So it was hard to tell exactly what area was covered. Joe Vooch, the township engineer, has reviewed it and come up with a clarification for the description. So it's not changing anything, and as I discussed earlier with Mr. Arenowitz, this is just changing an overlay zone to a actual affordable housing zone.
Okay,
So both of these ordinances will come up for second reading on September 9th after they're referred to the planning board.
So the planning board did review it, and they gave us a master plan consistency. I have to send it back to them with the review to get another master plan.
I would just to be.
Okay.
do we have to
Yeah.
vote on anything, Megan?
You have to
You-
motion to amend as tracked and to continue the public hearing on this
Till-
ordinance as
till
amended to
September
the
9th.
September 9th, 2026 meeting.
All right, so,
Whatever that means,
Okay.
yes, I get it. All right, so moved.
Second.
thank you, Megan, and Jack.
Committeewoman Fettis? Committeeman Liberato?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey?
Yes.
Mayor Paserchia?
Yes. So item number 7, consent agenda, resolutions. Does anybody want to pull for further discussion or need to recuse themselves?
Where's Officer Longo? I see him pacing in the back. He's waiting for us to
Yeah.
pass this. After I beat him in an arm wrestling contest,
Yeah, I don't think
Good
so.
luck with that.
So, no recusals or further? Yeah, I'm what, Deputy Mayor Dorsey just opined?
I'm talking tough while he's out of the room.
Smart. All right, so looking for a motion to approve resolutions, numbers 26-202 to 26-219.
So moved.
Second.
Committeewoman Fettis? Committeeman Liberato?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dorsey?
Yes.
Mayor Paserchia?
Yes. So before we get into item number 8, committee reports, Vic was not able to be here. He had a family event. Is anybody doing rec? Matt's doing rec?
Yes.
And, okay, so why don't we start with you, if you're ready. If not,
There's some setup here.
Yeah, it sounds like he's leading into
He's trying
something.
to lead me. Yeah, exactly.
all right, so Frank, why
No,
don't
I'll
you go?
do it if they're
Oh,
ready.
let him go first. He's ready.
Thanks.
Oh, if you're
Oh, here
ready,
he is. See? Here he is.
fire away.
He's
Ready.
Congratulations on your raise, sir.
He was talking trash just for the record, so if you want.
All right.
Go.
Where are we? Summer vibes. Here we go. All the way to recreation right now. Here we go. Our Dog Days of Summer concert series will be concluding tomorrow night. Join us as we welcome back Epic Soul, 7 o'clock. They'll have everybody up and dancing. It's a free concert. I've been to the last two. The acts are very good. It's a nice night out. The Scream Truck's there, and the public's into it, so thank you for everybody that comes out. It's free. Scream Truck, 7:30 to 8:30, and it's a nice way to cool off and do something tomorrow night.
Sorry.
It's all right. All right. So thank everybody who helped out to the National Night Out last week. A special thanks go out to our sponsors, the Watchung Hills Regional Municipal Alliance, the Sterling Hotel, who actually gave away 300 sandwiches. And the reason I know that is because I asked for one, and they said we had 300 rolls, and we gave them all away. So, Starbucks of Gillette. Thank you to our EMS groups, the County Sheriff's Office for all their work setting up information tables and demonstrations. The night really makes you appreciate being a member of our community. And thank you all the people that came. It was a great turnout, and it seemed like everybody had a great time. And the library, too, for sponsoring kids' events. All right. Thank everyone for your patience. We've been working to improve the sports courts at Cantor Park. They're curing. They poured the concrete, so they need to cure for the next 30 days, which is less than 30 days now, before they can put the top coat of paint on and start striping everything. The fence around the tennis court is tentatively scheduled to be reinstalled on the 18th. The top coat of paint should be applied to the tennis courts and basketball court during the week of the 31st. And please use extra caution while in the park. I know a lot of people walk in there. And stay clear of the construction equipment. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. I know it's been a long haul, and I know the town hall employees are fielding a lot of questions about this. But as I said, it's the lowest responsible bidder, and you get what you get. So we are working on this, and believe me, we're on it. And we do plan to repair the walking pathways as soon as they're done with construction, because doing it before would be just a waste of time. All right. New lighting will be installed this fall for Myersville Ballfield Complex to light the pickleball court. So that'll be great. So we'll have the parking lot and the playground. So it's going to be great. It'll be nice and cool, a lot more, so we can extend the hours of pickleball. Wednesdays at the lake, 3 o'clock, town librarian Albie Ashbrook will read books and do arts and crafts with everyone while the sun is still shining. It's open to all residents. It's free, no registration. So come on down Wednesdays at 3 o'clock at the lake. Continuing at the lake, Family Fun Day at Sterling Lake is scheduled for August 22nd. It's a fun day for members of the lake to join the competitions like the Biggest Splash, chalk drawings, sandcastle building, relay races, and much more. Please note, guest pass fees are increased this day. Save the dates, just like Costco, we're already advertising Halloween. The Halloween parade is Sunday, October 18th at 3 p.m. Next week we'll be announcing the tree lighting in Myersville. The tryouts for travel basketball are also in October for all the kids grades 4 to 8. And registration for rec basketball begins October 15th. So get a head start on that. and the program starts mid-November. We're always looking for people to come and join the Parks and Recs Committee. There's always room for new voices, new ideas, and obviously more hands to help. So please to the website for more information. And last but always certainly not least, please clean up the park. It's so simple. This garbage, you trip over the garbage cans, there's so many of them. So just please throw your stuff out and pick up after your animals. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the summer.
So I'm gonna, okay, fine enough. Okay, we'll go with that. Vic, if you're watching, I think you have a lot of competition here. That was an excellent update.
He was rehearsing in the back. You didn't see him before?
Do it in front of the mirror.
Yeah, yeah.
I enjoyed it. Frank?
Yes, I have two liaison reports. First one is for HPAC, our historical preservation. They're looking for township memorabilia, anything historical that somebody may have at home. If you're cleaning out your garage, your basement, something, pictures from years gone past at the town. They're always looking for memorabilia. The meetings are once a month. It's on the township website. They're open to the public. But if you come across something, they're always very interested in anything, that has some history from the township. Open space is also open to the public. We just had a meeting Monday evening, working on updating files and records, and kind of getting a lot of things in order. And we should have more to report next month as we are in a work in progress. And that's it for my two liaison reports.
Frank, I appreciate it. Teresa?
I don't have anything. Shade Tree Committee is meeting.
That's
I'll have
okay.
something at our next meeting.
That's perfectly fine. So, let's turn it over to the administrator report.
Okay. We have Long Hill Road Phase 1 and 2, as well as Chestnut, are complete. We're waiting for DOT inspections on those roads, as well as punch list items for Long Hill Phase 2. The deputy mayor took care of the tennis courts and basketball court. So the fence will be going up the week of 8/17. I think it's scheduled for 8/18, like you said. Color coding in early September. Central Park Trails, they have started site clearing, and that will continue for the next week or two. And they'll be installing the still fence and begin the actual trail installation. Planning and zoning, they had 3 new applications submitted for 12 that are before the boards. 2 projects are still in resolution compliance. 14 zoning permits were issued. The clerk's office issued 526 daily permits for parking and 191 other registration licenses and requests. Fire prevention, they received a quarterly report from the state in the amount of $5,677.75 that comes back to the town. They had 17 fire incidents, 9 investigations as needed. They updated several new businesses that they found were running business and never filed for registration. Code enforcement, they had 35 complaints come through the office. All 35 complaints were investigated and notices and/or summons were sent out as appropriate. 15 recycling warning tags were issued, and Mark did 5 fire inspections for his work. July revenue, 2026 taxes collected, $1,527,070.12. Other revenue was $825,972.85. The parking utility took in $2,800. Total disbursements, local school tax, $2,101,000. Regional school tax, $843,000. Other disbursements were $1,170,391. Parking utility was $2,008.41. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Randy. And so, I would just ask, bless you, whoever did sneeze. So I ran into a representative from NJ American Water at National Night Out. So
I did forget that. Thank you.
So they're gonna, did they set up?
Well, just to give an update, our engineer came back from vacation this week, so we're working on a time to get together, get an
Perfect.
update. But currently, they are continuing to do sewer work. They had a emergency sewer collapse on High Street yesterday that they worked overnight into about 10 o'clock this morning to get that fixed. They all continue working on Central, and today in Central and Long Hill Road East is shut down for that work, and they were actually up to the corner, so that'll still be closed for the next couple of days. Hopefully, early next week, it'll be back reopened for through traffic. They're trying to get it done, obviously, before the school gets back into session.
Perfect. And then we'll sit down, we'll get a full-on update for as the work continues. So I like, well, I don't know if like is the right word. I follow Facebook because sometimes you'll see something that is somewhat topical. So the idea of reassessments, and not to put you on it, but this is something you can probably do in your sleep. Long Hill Township has been doing annual reassessments for at least 12 years, I think it is. And there's a reason why it is done that way. It's done in order to limit, and probably, I don't even think we have many tax appeals, if any, anymore. It's so houses don't get a little bit misaligned. It's to ensure that people pay, as the overused trite phrase, fair share relative to their neighbors. So there's a reason why we assess annually. It's also to see if people have done non-permitted work, and it's also people who have done permitted work to make sure that they are assessed properly. But that is annual, and it has been for 12 years. It's not new. And it doesn't change. Your house can go up, you know, if everybody's house goes up 10%, your tax is gonna go up 10%. This elected body votes on a budget, and that's the number that gets applied. And Randy, if you don't mind, maybe we could put a pie chart of how the taxes get divvied up.
Sure.
I can speak to it from memory. It's roughly 63% go to the schools, both the grammar school and the high school. 23% goes to municipal. 11.5, 12 goes to the county. 1.5 is the library, and that's statutory, right, based on millage. So there's nothing, that is what it is, and they do a great job, so I don't begrudge that in the least. And slightly less than 1% goes to open space. So that's the breakdown, 63, 12, 23, 24 here, 1.5 library, as I said, and 0.9, give or take, is open space. That's the breakdown. We'll put a pie chart with nice colors, pretty colors, so people can see how their money is spent. But the reassessment, the annual reassessment is, your house can go up what it goes up. You know, we don't do that. That's just what the comps are, and et cetera, et cetera. And if anything, houses are selling for well more than what they're assessed. Even the annual assessment hasn't kept up with what houses are selling for. All right, so that's that, and I think we can move on then, right? So, any discussion items? None? I don't think so, Megan. We don't have any there. Old, new business?
Well, it's not new, it's more of an announcement. I think it's good news.
All right, well, fair enough. Fire away.
No, I think there was people asked me questions about stuff going on in town, and I checked with Deb Coons, and Randy might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but people were asking what was going on next to the new doggy daycare place, and apparently there's a gym getting built in over there. I don't know what kind of gym it is, I don't know what gym it is or what brand it is, but apparently that's what's getting built next to, or building out next to, the old King's building, and apparently next to Dunkin' Donuts, because somebody else asked me about that the other night actually it's coincidentally at the concert, and Deb Coons told me there was somebody, I guess they got approval or to put in a sushi restaurant in the old Blimpie building next to Dunkin'. So there is stuff going on, it's just moving along here, but that's if people ask, that's what I was told.
I appreciate you bringing that up.
It could be, I think I'm accurate on that
No,
information.
I'm pretty sure you are accurate. All right, so any old, new? Announcements? We don't have any announcements.
I have two announcements.
Oh, fire away.
Always got announcements.
Yeah, all right.
So, October will be here before you know it. October 4th, Sunday, week of Fire Prevention Week, pancake breakfast, Sterling Fire Company. Everyone welcome. More details to come. Flyers will be coming out shortly. but just save the date, Sunday, October 4th, from 8 to noon. And second item is the Long Hill First Responders golf outing. We should have our registration forms, flyers, and social media out for September is the plan. It's next year. The date is May 24th, 2027 at Brook Lake Country Club. And that's all 4 agencies in town: Sterling Fire, Millington Fire, Long Hill First Aid Squad, and Long Hill PD. So it's going to be a nice event, and I'll be mentioning it every meeting so everybody doesn't forget.
Perfect, thank you, and thanks for triggering my memory. Oktoberfest, the Elks, Saturday, September 12th, 2026. There will be a band there, $20 admission, and the doors open at 3:30 and it extends to about 10:30, give or take. I believe they sent out email that you can register online, or I'm sure if you Google it, you can. But so Oktoberfest, September 12th, right there at the Elks property. Matt, Teresa, any other announcements? None, seeing none? And here comes the best part. Number 13, the meeting is open to the public. Remarks, statements pertaining to any matter. If you could, try to limit comments and remarks to 3 minutes, if you can. We work with you.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, Pam Ogens, the Crescent in Millington. Disclosure, I was 3 years on the Master Plan Committee and have been a member of the Planning Committee since January of 2025.
Thank you for serving.
Permission to distribute some handouts?
Works for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam. Are there edits on this, or from what I already have? Okay.
Thanks, ma'am.
And I come before you tonight, absolutely nothing to do with my responsibilities on the planning board. When I saw tonight's agenda that contract negotiations regarding Verizon were being discussed during your closed executive session, I hoped it would be more than just discussion about the recent lease agreement regarding the existing cell tower at the DPW site. I hoped to hear an announcement that the Township Committee would be instructing our administrator, Randy Barr, to reissue the bidding for the alternative cell tower site, the alternative site being the Millington train station parking lot site. But unfortunately, I did not hear anything about that.
I apologize. Can I interrupt you just for 1 second? We did hear you. We did read what you had given to us. We appreciate it. We did discuss it back there, and the mayor neglected to point out we have instructed the administrator, Randy Barr, to rebid. Is that the way? Rebid with no minimum, but the township will, of course, have the ability to deny if it doesn't reach a bid that we feel acceptable. So, thank you for your involvement. Thank you to others who have reached out. It will be rebid.
Okay, great. Thank you. Rebidding, I'm just going to jump forward a little bit. That was the right decision for sure. We know there's no downside to rebidding. I do, in the resources that I provided you with, encourage you to look at what the current going rate is. And what we got at the DPW was lovely, but we can't expect that now. This is a new tower. That was an existing tower. They're going to have different expenses. So the rebid will be put out when? Tomorrow?
I can't say
Yesterday?
tomorrow.
Yesterday, is that right?
We have to make some revisions, and I have to run it by the attorney, but it will, I'm hoping tomorrow. but,
Okay.
I think the latest would be Friday.
just to bring to your attention that this is on the agenda for the zoning board on the 18th, so we needed it ASAP. Okay, I appreciate your cooperation, and I didn't have to do all this work.
Well, we may not have reached that conclusion if you had not done all this work, so I think the public owes you a debt of gratitude for doing that work.
Thank you for putting that together.
Thank you, Dan.
I probably should say that, right? Are you encouraging the mayor to say? Anybody else in the audience who would like to speak on any topic, including cell towers, but I think Pam is a tough act to follow.
Here comes John.
Charles Renowitz, Millington. I ran out of time in the opening remarks and didn't comment on the expenses. We spoke last time about the engineer, and we said it was just a high water mark because of all the capital projects, and we would expect it to go down. I really didn't see that this month. So what months do I see that in? It was at 27,000.
I'll let my esteemed, or our esteemed CFO respond.
So some of these were, $4,700 of that were planning board and zoning board applications. And the rest was, June billing, which was in the middle of all the construction projects.
There's one, now that I'm on open space and the committee elected me vice chairman, I'll ask this question. He's got a $2,000 charge there for open space. I'm just wondering what that is.
For the trails.
That's for the trails?
Yes.
I think it says Cantor Park open space. Trails are going to come here on Cantor Park?
I don't believe it's open space, Cantor Park. I believe it's the trails for, across the street.
You know what, Chuck, we'll get back to you on that, because I thought I noticed that as well. So, but I think they were considering working on something in Cantor as well, so.
Well, I don't know. It says Central Park, June 26.
Oh, it does say
Space,
Central.
yeah, that's what it says.
$2,600.
Is that the line
That's what I'm
item?
referring to, yes.
Yeah. Central Park, trails.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, if you look on the left side, it says Central Park and then open spaces.
Cantor Park is right above that. That's a capital.
all right.
And to be fair to the public, so Central Park refers to the property across the street. Used to be called Kerrs. A lot of people know it as Kerrs, but we refer to it as Central Park.
Oh, yeah, okay. So you're saying that charge is for the trails to open space?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, we requested also on Monday that we get some idea what the budget and the monies that are in open space, and I don't know how we go about that.
Well, the open space has no budget. They're an advisory committee.
Right.
I can certainly give you the amount of money in the open space trust fund.
Right. We kind of know that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Chuck. And that,
Thanks, Chuck.
what Chuck is referring to is that 0.9% that everybody in this room, if you're a resident of Long Hill, it was voted on by referendum many years ago, predates me. I don't remember the exact date, 2003 maybe? Nah, it doesn't matter. And that is how we purchased, for example, the park across the street, how we purchased Eberly, which, what we refer to as Eberly, it's on the south side of Valley as you drive down. And will help fund certain things going forward. Any other member of the public in the courtroom? Seeing none? Megan at home?
Mansi Patel would like to speak.
Hi, Monzi.
Hold on.
Hey guys, this is Mansi Patel from Sterling. I actually just wanted to ask a question regarding the first part of the meeting with the gentleman who came in with the speaking about AI. I missed the first 15 or 20 minutes of the meeting, but I think I heard you say, Guy, that the Digital Engagement Committee will no longer be required?
No, in fact, I probably would ask Mike Stanzilis to meet with the Digital Engagement Committee because you guys have done work and you probably would be the, what's that called? I'm looking for a phrase, but it would be best for you and Mr. Lavender to meet with Mike Stanzilis. And if you don't mind, I will give him your contact information. Well, first things first, should we have Mike meet with the CFO? Or maybe perhaps meet with the Digital Engagement Committee?
That might not be a bad idea.
So I think the best way forward, Mike, if you don't mind, is to meet with the Digital Engagement Committee because they have done work. I think the work they've done has now accelerated. It's kind of like you want to know where the puck's going. Well, AI has hastened that to where the puck is going to be. So perhaps Scott Lavender and Mansi Patel can sit down with you and say, look, these are the challenges that we see, and you've probably addressed a lot of them in your travels to Parsippany and Bergen County and Morris County, of course. So, Mansi, did I answer your question?
Sure, that's not exactly how you phrased it earlier, so I just wanted to confirm that this was not going away.
No.
The committee itself.
No. In fact, I wanted to go faster. It's kind of like, what's
Sure.
that movie, Talladega Nights? Faster. So look, the world changed. The world changed in the last 6 months. Everything is happening quicker. So I want to get there sooner than what I first anticipated.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else at home, Megan?
Marianne Noonan would like to speak.
Marianne, how are you?
Yes, hello.
Good evening.
Also, I just want to make mention, I am also on the digital committee.
I apologize, that's
and,
right. Since I appointed the
and-
Digital Engagement Committee, it would have been nice if I remembered that, so you can feel free to
That's
send me
okay.
a nasty text.
You've gotten your share. No, I'm kidding. But no, there's many ideas, and I think maybe I brought up to you regarding something that Warren is using in Watchung.
Yep.
And it's called the .gov site. I'm going to reach out to Scott Lavender again, just to put a little more of a push on it.
Right, and I will say, Marianne, Mike Stanzilis is still in the courtroom, and he's hearing what you and Monzi are saying, and I'm sure he's taking notes, at least in his mind. And hopefully my friends in Warren, who I have a very good relationship with, don't take this the wrong way, so it's meant as a compliment. Warren, in terms of digital engagement, was nowhere even a year ago, and now they are being mentioned as being ahead of us. And they are a perfect example of what it is that I'm trying to get at. You could be nowhere a year ago. You leapfrogged Long Hill Township in some ways. And we received awards in the past for our website and our engagement with the public. And now our neighbor, my esteemed neighbor, and the committee over there has embraced exactly what Mr. Stanzilis is talking about. And they are being referenced, Marianne, tonight by you, a member of our Digital Engagement Committee, as being ahead of Long Hill. And so that's why I want to move faster. I don't want Warren being used as an example of somebody that does it better than Long Hill. I want Long Hill used as the example as doing it better than anybody else in Morris County. And Somerset, all right, fine, Somerset County too.
Details,
How about the
details.
state? I'll go with the state. So Marianne, I'm sorry, I cut you off and the mic's still yours.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you, Marianne.
Anybody else at home?
If anybody else on Zoom would like to make a public comment, please raise your hand now. I don't see anyone, Mayor.
Motion to.
No motion yet. I want to thank the public. What you proved tonight is exactly what local government should be about. There were two major decisions that we were considering and probably would have proceeded with if the community had not engaged with this body. So when you go home tonight, give yourself a little golf clap because you changed the trajectory of some of the ordinances we were considering. So thank you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Happy Labor Day. Am I too far
You're
ahead?
way.
All right, I'm
You know, I'll be back before later.
Georgie, what's up? Wonder.
Mike's.
Turn on the mic.
yes, okay.
Hi, Mike.
Oh,